Welcome to Awesome Video Game Memories, where we talk about awesome memories about video games. I'm Ryan, and today's game is Megaman X! So a lot of our favorite Nintendo franchises like Mario, Zelda, Castlevania were all making their leaps to the Super Nintendo. But the one that took the biggest leap of all was Megaman X! So I remember getting a call from my cousin, and he was like, "Dude, Ryan, have you seen the new Mega Man on the Super Nintendo, Mega Man X? I mean, he looks like an arcade game." So I went to go to my local store, and I saw, I think it was GamePro magazine, and I saw the previews for that thing. Never have I wanted a game that badly. That badly. I still remember reading GamePro, Electronic Gaming Monthly, Nintendo Power, all the magazines, when they still had that blue picture of X, which looked pretty hardcore. He kind of looked like X with a mask and shit. And then, they were saying, Mega Man X is part of the Robo Police. Man, the Robo Police. Before they became the Maverick Hunters. But I still like the Robo Police, like RoboCop, but like Robo Police. Mega Man X and RoboCop would have sounded so freaking cool. So the first time I actually played this game was at a friend's house. He borrowed it from another one of his friends because both of us were really poor kids at the time. And so I remember he let me play that first level on the freeway, and I was like, oh my god, there's all these cars coming, but then after that there's these enemies, and then I'm charging the Mega Bus, and this giant freaking beam robot thing, and then the freeway crumbles down. I'm hopping on the walls, and then this guy who looks like Boba Fett's trying to kill me, and this awesome robot with blonde hair saves me. What was I playing? This was Mega Man X! But one dumb thing that still goes on to this day was a lot of kids were calling it Mega Man 10 back in the day. They were like, "Hey Ryan, they played Mega Man 10, but I was like, no, it's Mega Man X because his name is X." Like, "No, Ryan, you're stupid. It's Mega Man 10 because X is the Roman numeral for 10. But then a year later, when Mega Man X2 came out, I was like, ha! In your face! So I remember when this game came out, all the magazines were giving it 90%, A+. I knew I had to have this game. I had to have this game! So I painfully saved up my allowance for so long. So probably in the spring of '94, I was finally able to buy this game for $55 at Costco, back when it was called Price Club. And it was worth every single penny. So I remember the first day I had this game, I played it so much that I ended up beating all the robots, but I didn't actually get all the heart tanks yet, or all the sub-tanks yet. So I got all the way to Sigma's Castle, but it was already 9 at night on a Sunday. And my parents were like, "Ryan, you gotta go to bed." "No, I gotta play more Mega Man X!" Of course, during this time, I wasn't allowed to play video games Monday through Thursday, so I had to wait till Friday before I could play again. On Friday, I beat the first 2 levels of Sigma's Fortress, but then I was able to finally beat the game on the Saturday afterwards. And so it only took me a total of 3 days to beat the game from beginning to end. But I replayed the hell out of it, and there are so many things I could talk about this game that I love so much. Just the amount of detail and polish that this game has for a first effort. Remember when Mega Man 1 came out, it was a really good first effort. But when Mega Man X was out, they put everything on the table. Capcom put everything on the table for this game, and it shined really, really bright. So I remember going to Chill Penguin stage, getting the boots from Dr. Light in that capsule, and being able to dash everywhere. That really sped up the gameplay a lot. I barely ever ran anywhere. I dashed everywhere I went. I would just dash everywhere. And if you want to talk about polish and detail, just look how polished and detailed these graphics look compared to the NES games. I remember being blown away by, riding that robot armor, Storm Eagle stage where you blow up that robot and the entire freaking window blows up. And then when you fight Storm Eagle, the whole top of the jet you're on blows up. I'm going to this Flame Mammoth stage and seeing the robots crushed by that crusher, and then especially in Launch Octopus stage where you kill the submarine and it crashes all the way to the ground to reveal secret passageway. I mean, there's so much bias. Oh my goodness, so much things I could talk about in this game. Like, wow, you really gotta play it for yourself. You know, seeing those Mavericks too, and they were like, you know, the Robot Masters. I mean, these guys aren't your typical Gutsman and Cutman. Like, these are like ferocious looking animals, like hardcore shit, man. Like, man, like you look at Flame Mammoth, like, holy shit, how the hell is Megaman X gonna beat that guy? Well, it's pretty easy to beat in the game, but man, just looking at these Mavericks, man, these guys would like rip me apart, man. Yeah, so like the Mega Man games always had secrets in them, and this game was chock full of secrets. Like I said before, I mean, I remember when I got to Sigma's Fortress for the first time, I couldn't get all the items. Like, I didn't know where all the hard tanks or the sub tanks were. I remember having a really hard time getting the hard tank in Boomer Kawunger stage, and I had to look a little bit for the hard tank in Spark Mandrill stage. But other than that, the rest of them took a little effort to find. I remember also. I had a bit of an instinct in Chill Penguin stage where, you know, one of the igloos might have a hard tank in it, so I'm just gonna look, and I found it! And so I remember not really having a lot of trouble with the boss battles in this game until I got to the first boss of Sigma's Fortress and the boss spider. That boss spider was pretty difficult to beat at first. Like, I remember my friend called me up and saying, man, I just can't beat the spider in the first Sigma stage. I just don't know how to beat him. So I remember struggling trying to beat that thing. I mean, I must have used like 3 energy tanks trying to beat that thing. But the rest of the bosses, even Sigma himself, wasn't really that difficult. Also, I remember probably a week after I beat this game, and I was constantly replaying it, trying to replay it in different ways that I can. And when I went to GamePro magazine during my spring break, they showed that Mega Man could have the fireball from Street Fighter. I was like, whoa, Mega Man could shoot the fireball? Yeah, like you have to go to Armored Armadillo stage 5 times in a row and get the capsule up there. But I remember the first couple of times I had difficulty like trying to get it. I remember not being able to get it even after going 6 times, but I realized you have to get the energy capsule. I think you might have to go there with full health, I'm not sure, but I remember when I got the fireball, I was so obsessed with using it. Like, when I got hit once by an enemy, I refilled my energy right away. And I remember it was very difficult to hit the final form of Sigma with the fireball, but even if you do hit him, it doesn't really do that much damage. Yeah, so I remember, like, this was the first Mega Man game that I played, besides the second one, that I felt kind of sad. Like, this game had a lot of tragedy in it. A lot of sadness. I remember kind of feeling a bit emotional when Zero died, and I didn't think he was going to come back, but I heard the fans demanded that he would be brought back for sequel, and they did. I remember beating Sigma for the first time. You know, X is standing on that cliff, and I didn't feel like super victorious. I mean, I did a little, but I felt kind of sad. Like when the text says, you know, X, you know, with the X-Buster on his hand, he doesn't know what the future holds, and why did he have to fight? Like, X is a character that has a lot of turmoil, and as you see as the series progresses, you know. So I remember after beating the game for the first time, I actually turned it off after the credits were over, because I didn't know about that secret. If you wait a little while, then Sigma appears saying, hey, I'm gonna be back, bitch, indicating that there was going to be a Mega Man X 2. So probably my second or third time beating the game, I just decided maybe there's going to be something, and oh, holy shit, Sigma's back. And we're going to begin the whole process again where Sigma is always going to be the final villain up until Xing. And yes, I have played the remake Maverick Hunter X on the PSP, which I will cover in a separate video. So the great thing about Mega Man X is I always said the NES games were challenging, but not like super impossible, but challenging but not easy. But Mega Man X is just right. It just has the perfect amount of difficulty for any gamer to get into. It's not too hard, it's not too easy. I mean, like, you should be able to breeze through this game if you play it enough. Yeah, so Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo, I mean, I could talk about this game forever, but don't worry, I'm not going to waste all your time. I mean, like, this game from beginning to end is like a thrill ride. I mean, there's like so much care, so much polish, so much effort that was put into this game for the first outing on the Super Nintendo, and it shows. So, in my opinion, this is the closest example to a perfect game as you can get. Like Megaman X for the Super Nintendo, like barely has any flaws in it at all. If I had to name one, I think there's, I don't know. Yeah, so Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo. You can get this on the PS2 Mega Man X collection, but I highly recommend getting the Virtual Console version on the Wii U. Very recommended. Yeah, so that wraps up this awesome video game memories on Mega Man X. And if you have any memories about this game, make sure to leave those in the comments below. Take care.